I thought patience would save us, but it destroyed me. Emma stared at the cracked ceiling of their tiny apartment, the one they'd rented together 5 years ago when everything still felt like a beginning. The paint peeled in lazy curls, much like the promises Alex had made back then. "We'll fix this place up," he'd said, his eyes bright with that infectious optimism. "Just like us. Solid foundation, a little work, and it'll be perfect." But now the cracks were everywhere, not just above her head. It started small, as these things often do. Alex was ambitious, chasing his dream job in graphic design while Emma worked steady hours at the bookstore downtown. She loved his passion, the way he'd sketch late into the night, his brow furrowed in concentration. But passion turned to frustration when rejections piled up. "I just need more time," he'd say, canceling dinner plans or forgetting anniversaries. Emma nodded, patient as ever. "I understand," she'd reply, swallowing the sting. Patience was her virtue, her mother had always said. It would see them through. Months blurred into years. Alex landed freelance gigs, sporadic bursts of income that he spent on new equipment or nights out with networking friends. Emma picked up extra shifts, her own dreams of writing a novel gathering dust on a shelf. "We're a team," she told herself, stirring pasta in their outdated kitchen. But teams share the load, and increasingly she carried it alone. Bills stacked up. Arguments simmered. "Why can't you just be supportive?" Alex would snap when she gently suggested he apply for stable work. "I'm trying, Emma. Give me space." She gave him space, oceans of it. Patience became her armor, shielding her from the growing void. Friends noticed first. "You deserve better," her best friend Lena said over coffee one afternoon. "He's dragging you down." Emma waved it off. "Relationships aren't perfect. We just need to weather this storm." Deep down, doubt crept in, but admitting it felt like failure. What if patience was the key? What if leaving meant she hadn't tried hard enough? One evening, after a particularly grueling day at the store, Emma came home to find Alex on the couch, surrounded by empty beer cans. "Rough day?" she asked, forcing a smile. He grunted, eyes glued to his phone. "Yeah, client backed out. Again." She sat beside him, her hand on his knee. "We'll figure it out." But he pulled away. "You always say that. Maybe you're the problem. Always hovering, making me feel guilty." The words hit like a slap, but she absorbed them. Patience, she reminded herself. He'll come around. The turning point came slowly, disguised as normalcy. Alex started staying out later, claiming inspiration strikes at night. Emma found lipstick on his collar once. Strawberry red, not her shade. "It's nothing," he dismissed when confronted. A hug from a friend at the bar. She wanted to believe him, needed to. Patience whispered that confrontation would push him away. So she stayed, cooking meals he barely touched, washing clothes stained with unfamiliar scents. Her reflection in the mirror changed. The vibrant woman who'd once laughed freely now looked hollow, eyes shadowed by sleepless nights. Weight melted off her frame. Joy seeped away. Work suffered. Customers complained about her distractions. "Emma, what's going on?" her boss asked kindly. She shrugged. "Just life." But life was Alex, and Alex was unraveling them both. Then came the promotion offer. A regional manager position at a larger bookstore chain, with better pay and travel opportunities. It could fund her writing, give her independence. Excited, she shared the news over dinner. "This could change everything for us." Alex's face darkened. "Travel? What about me? I need you here." The argument escalated. "You're selfish," he accused. "Always thinking about your career when I'm struggling." She backed down, declining the offer the next day. Patience won again, but at what cost? Seasons cycled. Winter brought isolation, spring false hope. Alex landed a big project, and for a brief month, he was the man she'd fallen for. Attentive, loving. They danced in the living room to old records, made love like it was new. "See, we just needed time," he said, holding her close. But the project ended, and so did the affection. Back to late nights, excuses, the occasional flare of temper. Emma's journal became her confidant, pages filled with unspoken pain. "Why do I stay?" she wrote one night, tears blotting the ink. "Because I love him. Or because I'm afraid of being alone?" The answer eluded her, buried under layers of patience that had morphed into endurance, then resignation. The breaking point arrived unannounced. It was a Tuesday, mundane as any other. Emma returned from work to find Alex packing a bag. "What's this?" she asked, heart pounding. He avoided her gaze. "I'm moving in with Sarah. She's a colleague. Understands my creative needs." Sarah. The name from whispered phone calls, the one he'd sworn was just a friend. Emma's world tilted. "After everything. All the patience I've given." He paused, bag in hand. "Patience. You've been smothering me, Emma. I need someone who lets me breathe." The door closed behind him, leaving silence that echoed louder than any argument. She crumpled to the floor, sobs racking her body. 5 years poured into a sinking ship. Patience hadn't saved them. It had drowned her. Days blurred in grief, calling in sick, staring at walls, questioning every choice. Friends rallied, Lena bringing soup and tough love. "You stayed too long, Em. But now you can rebuild." Rebuilding started small. She cleaned the apartment, tossing Alex's forgotten sketches into the trash. She dusted off her novel outline, fingers tentative on the keys. The promotion. She reapplied, got it this time. Travel took her to new cities, where she met people who valued her spark. Months later, on a solo trip to Paris, Emma sat by the Seine, notebook in lap. The city buzzed with life, mirroring her emerging vitality. She wrote not of loss, but of rediscovery. Alex had messaged once, apologetic, wanting to talk. She deleted it without reply. Patience has its place, she realized, but not at the expense of self. Staying in a failing relationship hadn't been love. It was fear of change, of admitting defeat. It eroded her worth, piece by piece, until she was a shadow of herself. The lesson crystallized. Self-worth isn't measured by how much you endure, but by how fiercely you protect your own light. True love amplifies it, doesn't dim it. Emma vowed never to dim again. She closed her notebook, the sun warm on her face, and walked into her future, patient only with herself.